Hello, my name is Ernie Reyna. I'm the Assistant City Manager, and I've been here at the City of Paris for 6 years now. I oversee quite a bit of departments, and one of them is public safety. So we have the contracts for both police and fire. So my background coming up is through finance. So I have a fortunate kind of look at things from a money angle. And so knowing the finance perspective that I see, and I see the costs rising almost year after year for not only police, but fire. And so those are the kind of costs you have to keep an eye on to figure out how you're going to maintain those same levels of services you have now. And so that's always a challenge. So you have the external look through public safety, but I also oversee public works, which is kind of the internal, how are we going to fix the roads? How are we going to do all the other projects we need to do when that funding stops or slows down? We got to figure out how to bridge that gap. And that's kind of where we're at right now, is looking at that gap and say, where's that going to come from? Because that's where we're at. I think we're in a fortunate position. The city's been very fiscally conservative. So over the years, we've been able to grow reserves that help us in these situations where we need to fund. But in years past, we've had an ample amount of revenues coming in that have helped us offset these costs. Now those revenues aren't kind of keeping pace with the expenditures. And so now we're starting to dip into those reserves where we haven't done that before. And I'll give you specific examples with the fire station. That cost is about $15 million right there that we need to figure out how to fund. And so we have some of the funding, and so we'll take that to our city council to figure out how they would like to fund the rest. But that's a big cost on top of the ongoing costs of the contracts for police and fire. Making sure that our roads are maintained and there's no potholes, especially during the rainy season. So we want to maintain, we stay on top of those and items like that. We do a 2-year budget here at the city, so we're just entering the second year of that budget. And so as we start to compile the budget for the next 2 years, it's going to look quite different. And we know that for a fact. We've been tracking that. So we've been able to maintain a balanced budget, if not a small little surplus. I don't foresee that happening anymore going forward. And so we'll probably start running deficits just because the expenditures now have overseeded revenues. And so again, we have a couple of different ways that we can do that. We eat into our reserves, which it's good to keep a healthy 30% in the reserves. And if not that, then you start looking at other places in your budget to cut, perhaps in just other areas altogether. And we really don't want to do that because our residents look forward to the services we provide and they really enjoy those. We do what we can with what we have to provide services to the city. And that's the goal, is to balance everything out, to give people what exactly they need, and that's kind of where we're at right now, is making sure that they have funding for a police station or a fire station and all the departments that have different service levels and stuff like that. So I think it's a challenge. It's a challenge, but it's a challenge that we enjoy, to making sure that we can provide the best possible services we can for the city.